Adam found out about the betrayal on a normal afternoon, the kind that usually passed without meaning. Sunlight came through the thin curtains of his apartment, lighting up dust in the air. His phone buzzed once on the table. An email. He opened it without thinking, expecting nothing more than another routine message. Instead, he saw a company launch announcement. The name at the top made his breath stop. Daniel, his partner, his friend. The product description felt familiar in a way. That made Adam's chest tighten. Every line reflected long nights of planning. Every feature came from arguments they had solved together. This wasn't similar to Adam's idea, it was his idea. Adam read the email again, slower this time. Daniel was being praised as the sole creator. Investors were congratulating him. Journalists called him brilliant and independent. Adam scrolled down, hoping to see his name somewhere, even in small print. It wasn't there. His hands went cold. The room felt quieter, as if the walls themselves were listening. He leaned back in his chair, staring at the ceiling, trying to understand how something built on trust could be taken so cleanly. Memories rushed in without warning. Adam remembered the first night he and Daniel talked about the idea. They had been sitting in a cheap cafe, sharing one power outlet and two cracked laptops. They were both tired from their day jobs, but excited. They spoke fast, cutting each other off, building something from nothing. Daniel had smiled and said, "We'll do this together, no matter what." Adam had believed him without question. Back then, Adam had trusted easily. Daniel wasn't just a business partner. He was the person who listened when Adam doubted himself. When the idea seemed too big, Daniel pushed forward. When Daniel lost focus, Adam brought him back. They balanced each other, or so Adam thought. Looking at the screen now, that balance felt like a lie he had been telling himself. Adam opened his laptop and searched the company name. Articles appeared one after another. Photos showed Daniel standing confidently on a stage, speaking about vision and hard work. Adam noticed details others wouldn't. The way Daniel explained the system was exactly how Adam had explained it during their practice meetings. Even the phrases were the same. Adam felt something twist inside him, sharp and deep. It wasn't just theft, it was erasure. He stood up and paced the room. His apartment was small, but he walked in tight circles, stepping over cables and notebooks scattered across the floor. Each notebook was filled with early drafts, sketches, and ideas. Proof of years of effort. Proof that now meant nothing to the outside world. Adam stopped near the window and looked down at the street. People walked by, unaware that his life had just shifted. Anger came next, fast and heavy. Adam's jaw tightened. He replayed conversations in his mind, searching for signs he had missed. There had been moments when Daniel grew distant, canceled meetings, avoided questions. Adam had ignored them. He told himself trust mattered more than doubt. Now, those moments burned. Adam sat back down and opened his email archive. He searched Daniel's name. Messages filled the screen. Plans, revisions, shared documents. Thing was there. Clear timelines, clear collaboration. As he scrolled, a strange calm settled in. The evidence existed. Daniel hadn't destroyed that. Not yet. But another feeling followed close behind the calm. Humiliation. Adam imagined investors shaking Daniel's hand, believing his story. He imagined people praising the work Adam had poured his heart into, never knowing he existed. The thought made his stomach turn. He closed the laptop hard enough to make the table shake. The silence of the apartment felt heavy. Adam realized no one was going to call him. No apology was coming. Daniel had made his choice and moved forward without looking back. That understanding hurt more than the betrayal itself. It meant Daniel had planned this. It wasn't a mistake or misunderstanding. It was deliberate. Adam sat still for a long time. The anger didn't fade, it sharpened. His thoughts became focused, narrow. He imagined confronting Daniel, demanding answers, He imagined exposing everything, watching the truth tear down the image Daniel had built. Each image brought a sense of power Adam hadn't felt since opening that email. For the first time since the betrayal, he felt in control. Outside, the light began to fade. Adam hadn't eaten. He didn't notice the hunger. His mind was already moving ahead, turning pain into purpose. Revenge didn't feel wrong in that moment. It felt fair. It felt earned. Daniel had taken something precious. Balance needed to be restored. Adam opened his laptop again, this time with intention. He created a new folder and named it simply. Inside, he began organizing files, emails, drafts, and dates. He worked fast, his movements precise. Each file felt like a step forward. Each document was proof that he wasn't powerless. As night fell, the city lights reflected on the window. Adam barely noticed. His focus was sharp, almost comforting. The betrayal had cut him deeply, but it had also given him clarity. He knew exactly who had hurt him and why. He knew what he had lost, and he knew what he wanted next. By the time he shut down the computer, Adam felt changed. The trust he once gave freely was gone. In its place stood something harder, colder, and more determined. The story of what Daniel had done wasn't finished. It had only reached its beginning. Adam woke each morning with the same tight feeling in his chest. The betrayal no longer shocked him, but it stayed with him like a shadow that refused to move. His days followed a pattern. Wake up, check messages, read articles about Daniel's growing success, close the screen, breathe. Repeat. The world kept moving as if nothing had happened. And that felt wrong to Adam. Something terrible had been done, yet life acted normal. That imbalance aided him. He stopped answering calls from friends he didn't know what to say without sounding broken or angry. Silence felt safer. Inside his apartment, time moved strangely. Hours passed without meaning. The walls felt closer than before. Adam noticed things he never had, like the ticking of the clock and the hum of the refrigerator. Each sound reminded him he was alone with his thoughts. Those thoughts were no longer soft, they had direction. Adam began imagining outcomes instead of questions. He pictured Daniel's public image cracking. He imagined people realizing the truth and turning away. The idea brought a sense of relief, almost peace. Revenge didn't feel like cruelty to him. It felt like correction, a way to fix what had been twisted. Adam returned to the evidence every day. He didn't just look at it, he studied it. He arranged timelines, labeled folders, and wrote notes. He treated it like a project, because that made the pain manageable. Logic was easier than emotion. More organized the proof became, the stronger Adam felt. This wasn't rage anymore. This was controlled. At the same time, doubt crept in quietly. It arrived late at night when the work stopped. Adam would sit on the edge of his bed, staring at nothing, asking himself what would happen after. He didn't question whether Daniel deserved consequences. He questioned what revenge would leave behind. Would it bring peace, or just another kind of noise? Those thoughts annoyed him. They felt like weakness. Adam pushed them aside and focused harder. He researched laws, public exposure, and quiet ways to apply pressure. Every option carried weight. Some promised fast results. Others were slow but clean. Each choice asked him to decide what kind of person he wanted to be when it was over. One afternoon, Adam left the apartment for the first time in days without a plan. He walked until his thoughts slowed. The city felt distant, like a background image. He passed familiar streets without recognizing them. Eventually, he found himself near a small cafe by the park, the kind of place his grandfather liked. Adam hadn't planned to go inside, but he did. His grandfather sat at a corner table, calm and steady, as if he had been waiting. He smiled when he saw Adam, the kind of smile that didn't ask questions right away. They talked about small things. At first, Weather, the park. Old stories Adam had heard many times. Okay? Adam felt his shoulders relax despite himself. His grandfather had that effect. Okay? He made silence feel safe. Then, without changing his tone, his grandfather asked, "How's your apartment?" Adam blinked. "Fine," he said quickly. His grandfather nodded but didn't look convinced. "You spend a lot of time there." Adam shrugged. "It's where everything is." His grandfather stirred his tea slowly. "Sometimes places hold more than things," he said. "They hold what we're carrying." Adam felt the words land. Harder than expected. He looked away, jaw tight. He hadn't told his grandfather about Daniel. He didn't want sympathy. He didn't want advice. But something about that quiet question broke through the walls he'd built. "I was wronged," Adam said finally, his voice low. His grandfather didn't react. He didn't ask who or how. He just listened. "I'm trying to fix it, Adam," continued. "I know what to do." His grandfather studied him for a moment. "Knowing what you can do and knowing what you should do aren't always the same," he said gently. The words annoyed Adam. They felt distant from reality. Easy too. Say when you weren't the one hurt. Adam didn't argue, but the calm he had felt earlier faded. He finished his drink quickly and stood as Adam walked home. The conversation followed him. He replayed it again and again. His grandfather hadn't defended Daniel. He hadn't dismissed the pain. It simply asked Adam to look ahead, past the moment of revenge. That question was harder than any plan Adam had made. Back in the apartment, Adam opened his laptop again. The folders stared back at him, neat and ready. He imagined pressing a single button and watching everything unfold. The thought still brought relief, but now it was mixed with something else. Fear, maybe, or responsibility. Adam began writing out possible endings, not just actions. In one, he exposed Daniel publicly and watched the fallout. The truth came out fast. Daniel denied it, then broke. Adam was proven right, but the noise never stopped. Messages, interviews, opinions. Adam imagined waking up every day to reminders of the betrayal, trapped in a story that never ended. In another ending, Adam stayed quiet and let Daniel succeed. The thought made his chest burn. That wasn't forgiveness. That was surrender. Adam crossed that option out without hesitation. The third path was slower. Private evidence sent quietly to the right people. No public drama. No stage, just consequences. It wouldn't bring praise or attention. It wouldn't satisfy the urge to be seen. But it would correct the lie. Adam leaned back in his chair and stared at the ceiling. He realized then that revenge wasn't just about Daniel. It was about Adam proving something to himself. That he mattered. That his work mattered. That he hadn't been foolish to trust days passed. The pressure inside him grew. Daniel's success continued. Invitations, interviews, praise. Adam felt the clock ticking. Every delay felt like weakness. Every pause felt like letting Daniel win again. One night, Adam received a message from Daniel. Just one line. Friendly, casual, as if nothing had happened. Adam read it twice. His hands shook, not with fear, but with disbelief. Daniel didn't even feel guilty enough to stay silent. That message pushed Adam closer to the edge. He opened the folder again, heart pounding. This time, he didn't hesitate. He prepared the emails, attached the files, and typed the explanations. Each word was clear and factual. No emotion. No insults. Just truth. Before sending, Adam paused. He remembered the cafe, the tea, his grandfather's steady voice. He realized something painful and important. Revenge wasn't about what Daniel deserved. It was about who Adam would become after acting. Adam closed his eyes and took a slow breath. The anger was still there, but it no longer controlled him. He adjusted the recipient list. He removed public platforms. He removed social media. What remained were private channels. People who could act without turning it into a spectacle. When Adam finally sent the messages, there was no rush of joy. No thrill, just a deep, quiet release, the kind that comes after making a hard choice. He shut the laptop and sat in the silence. For the first time since the betrayal, the apartment didn't feel like a cage. It felt like a place where he could breathe. The conflict wasn't over. Consequences would come. Conversations would follow. But Adam understood something now. Revenge wasn't a single act. It was a path, and he had chosen how far he was willing to walk it. As the night passed, Adam felt tired in a way that felt honest. The weight hadn't vanished, but it had shifted. He wasn't chasing destruction anymore. He was reclaiming himself, one choice at a time. The day of the decision arrived without warning. Adam woke before sunrise, his mind already moving faster than his body. The room was dark, quiet, and still, but inside him everything felt loud. Today mattered. Not because the world would change, but because he would. He sat on the edge of the bed for a moment, steadying his breath, then stood and opened his laptop. The final responses had arrived overnight. Investors asked questions. Legal teams requested clarification. Nothing dramatic, nothing public, just careful attention. Adam read every message once and closed the screen. The process had started. The truth was moving on its own now, slow and unstoppable. There was nothing left to plan. For the first time in weeks, Adam didn't know what to do with himself. He showered, dressed, and stepped outside. The city felt sharper, brighter. Sounds stood out more clearly. He noticed faces, traffic, small conversations. Life hadn't paused for his pain, but it hadn't crushed him either. That realization surprised him. Adam walked without direction until his phone buzzed. Daniel's name lit up the screen. Tom stopped. Capel passed him, unaware of the moment unfolding inside his chest. This was it. It's a confrontation he had imagined so many times. His thumb hovered, then he answered. Daniel spoke fast. His voice lacked confidence. "What did you do?" he asked. Adam stayed calm, told the truth. There was silence on the other end. Then Daniel laughed weakly. "You're trying to ruin me." "I'm correcting what you broke," Adam replied. Daniel's tone shifted, defensive, desperate. He explained himself quickly, almost rehearsed. Pressure, fear, opportunity. He claimed he had planned to bring Adam in later once things were stable. He said it was never personal. Adam listened without interrupting. He noticed something then. Daniel wasn't angry. He was scared. Scared of losing what he had built on a lie. "When you chose to leave me out," Adam said evenly, "you decided. For both of us." Daniel had no answer for that. The call ended quietly. No shouting, no closure. Adam stood still for a moment, then put his phone away. He didn't feel victorious. He felt finished. Later that afternoon, Adam met his grandfather. Again at the cafe, the old man smiled as Adam sat down. "You look lighter," he said. Adam nodded. "I made a choice." His grandfather didn't ask which one. He didn't need to. They talked as they always did. Simple things, the past, the present. Adam noticed how grounded his grandfather seemed, how untouched by urgency. It struck him that strength didn't always look loud or forceful. Sometimes it looked quiet and steady. As Adam left the cafe, he realized the craving for revenge was gone. Not because Daniel didn't deserve consequences, but because Adam no longer needed to hurt someone else to feel whole. That chapter had closed. The following weeks moved quickly. Daniel's project stalled. Not publicly, but internally. Deals paused. Questions grew. Adam was contacted for verification. He answered honestly. He never insulted, never exaggerated. Truth carried enough weight on its own. Eventually, the company restructured. Credit was corrected. Adam didn't get everything back, but he got enough. His name returned where it belonged. Not as loudly as Daniel's rise, but firmly. The world didn't applaud Adam. No headlines. Praised his restraint. And strangely, he was grateful for that. He didn't want attention anymore. He wanted peace. One evening, Adam returned to his apartment and noticed something new. The space felt open, not physically larger, but calmer. The walls didn't press in. The silence wasn't heavy. He realized the apartment had never been the problem. What he carried inside it had been. Adam sat at his desk and opened a blank. Document, not evidence, not plans, just ideas. New ones. His hands moved easily. Creativity flowed without anger, driving it. He felt present again. Daniel crossed his mind once or twice, but without heat, just distance. Adam understood now that revenge, if taken too far, would have tied him to Daniel forever. Every thought, every success measured against the past. He had avoided that trap. Weeks later, Adam received one last message from Daniel. Short, apologetic, unclear if it was sincere. Adam read it once and deleted it. Not out of bitterness, but because he didn't need it. On a quiet morning, Adam visited his grandfather again. They walked through the park this time, slow and steady. "Do you regret it?" his grandfather asked. Adam thought carefully. "No," he said. "I regret trusting without seeing. But I don't regret choosing myself." His grandfather smiled. "That's how you know you did it right." As the seasons shifted, Adam's life settled into a new rhythm. Work grew steadily. Relationships felt honest. He no longer scanned rooms for threats or replayed old conversations. The past had loosened its grip. Adam learned something important through the struggle. Revenge promises power, but it often steals more than it gives. Justice, when handled with restraint, gives space to move forward. The difference mattered. One night, standing by his window, Adam watched the city lights flicker on. He felt calm, not because everything was perfect, but because he had faced the worst part of himself and chosen differently. The betrayal had changed him, yes, but it hadn't hardened him beyond repair. It had taught him boundaries, patience, and self-respect, lessons he would carry long after the pain faded. Adam turned off the light and prepared for sleep. Tomorrow would come as it always did. And this time, he was ready for it, not driven by revenge, but guided by clarity. The story didn't end with destruction or applause. It ended with growth. And that was enough.